Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Erica Bivens. Police say they continue to be on heightened alert through the rest of Carnival. Well, following the shooting death of 22-year-old Troy Joseph on UVI's St. Croix campus Friday evening, on Wednesday, Delegate to Congress Donna Christensen says the Chief Financial Officer, or CFO, bill for the territory has again passed the Natural Resources Committee. And although she's pleased, she does have some concerns. News 2 was there and brings you the highlights. On Friday, a ribbon-cutting ceremony officially opened the 61st Carnival Village, setting the tone for Chico's tropical paradise. Coming up on News 2, the Department of Tourism is looking for qualified dancers to perform at the 165th Emancipation Celebration. Do you have what it takes? Plus, the 10th annual Beach to Beach Power Swim is coming up. Are you registered? And keeping our eye on the economy, the maker of the iPhone and iPad announced its first profit decline in a decade. To entice more investors, Apple is finally sharing some of its cash. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. Everything up: Dow 152, NASDAQ 35, S&P 16. Coming up on News 2, some early closings and changes in hours you need to be aware of for Carnival, plus the newly crowned Miss UVI, a mathematics and biology major. Details coming up next. For the steel band Jamboree, one by one they each performed, and making their first public appearance this year was via Montessori's Steel Voltage. Take a listen to some of those very talented groups. Hi, I'm Erica Bivens with News 2 Sports. Is it possible to play 4 softball games in one night? Well, that's exactly what was done Tuesday for the championship of the Bob Owens One-Pitch Softball League. The American linebacker told Katie Couric he didn't know what to do or say after receiving news that his girlfriend, who he only knew over the phone and who he thought had died of leukemia, was alive. In the feature race, the underdog News Carrier would go on to set the tone, jumping ahead of Sweet Sight and the favorite Twisted Dream to take the lead. Sean David took the time to sit down with the boxers and give us the scoop on their development and expectations for their upcoming fights. The heated rivalry between the Charlotte Amalie Chicken Hawks and the Ivana Eudora Ken Devil Rays never fails to entertain, and for IAA varsity basketball play, there's no exception. First, we take you over to the women's game third quarter. Sherelle Hodge of the Hawks goes to the basket for the easy layup to stretch the lead. Let's take a quick look at the 2 Virgin Islands jockeys that will be participating in the 139th Kentucky Derby. First, we take a glance at jockey Kevin Krigger. The St. John Beach to Beach Power Swim is drawing closer, and if you haven't been able to find time to prepare for this year's competition, all is not lost. This coming Sunday, May 12th, is the 3rd and final practice swim. Definitely reason to cheer. Well, that's it for this edition of Sports. Sandy, back to you.
How's the latest, Erica?
Well, Sandy, it wasn't a long retirement for Rodney Carrard, the former St. Thomas St. John police chief. In fact, just 9 months after he retired, he was called back into the department, but this time it's to serve as the VIPD Assistant Commissioner. Officials from the Schneider Regional Medical Center gave testimony Thursday, and while many senators agreed the hospital has made tremendous strides in the past few years, there are some concerns that still need to be addressed. Senator Samuel Sanas, the sponsor of Bill number 29-0347, says even though the bill was approved in a 9-5 vote here at the Senate last month, he's relieved things are official. Ulla Muller School looked like a crime scene Wednesday afternoon with all the caution tape, but it was actually the site for an active shooter exercise. Commissioner Small says he has instructed public works crews to come back and repaint surfaces like this one you see behind me that have been vandalized. Well, there was chaos on the west end of St. Thomas this morning as a large telephone pole that you can still see in the background blocked the main road to town. Abramson says they've already begun to implement a number of changes in the consent decree. However, in order for that agreement to be valid, a judge must sign off on it. But today's hearing with Judge Curtis Gomez instead brought up a lot of other concerns like a lack of funding and an unstable website.
Are very serious.
Wednesday at a news conference, the U.S. Postmaster General announced Saturday delivery of mail will be discontinued.
When you lose the first-class volume that we've seen, you can't make the ends meet from a financial standpoint. The choice is either change some of the service or raise prices.
Although although it's not the first time the U.S. Postal Service has threatened to stop Saturday delivery, the initiative is expected to begin in August. The latest announcement is estimated to save the U.S. Postal Service about $2 billion annually. Last year alone, they lost about $16 billion. But will the new initiative affect the territory?
Yes, effective August 5th.
That's when Postmaster Silva Gibbs says no letters or flat pieces will be delivered on city or highway contract routes. But Saturday package delivery will continue, and the lobby will remain open 6 days a week.
Because there'll be no mail delivery on Saturday, Mondays is going to be our very high volume day for the carriers as well as for the clerks.
And although mail volume has dropped significantly in the territory, our Postal Service, financially speaking, is in decent shape.
Because we have such a large parcel delivery service, it equalizes the amount of revenues that's coming in. And we also have new programs called Every Door Direct, where advertisers could send out mailing at a very low cost of 14 cents a piece. Over the last year, we had $159,000 worth of revenue in that area alone. Because
they're not filling positions of those retiring, Gibbs doesn't foresee any cuts in hours or personnel. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens. Despite 2 power interruptions early in the competition, the Lionel Roberts Stadium was filled as the crowd was entertained during the 61st Carnival Queen Show.
I was very excited and I'm very glad. It was a very tough competition and all the contestants did well.
Those were the reactions from this year's Carnival Queen, contestant number 4, Adisha Penn, who also captured titles for Miss Intellect, Miss Congeniality, and Best Talent.
I've had many sleepless nights, and there was a lot of hard work, a lot of time and effort put in from everybody, from my family and my friends. I had to make various sacrifices in some of the extracurricular activities that I'm involved in, but it was all worth it, and I had a very fun and exciting time from the competition.
The 5 contestants this year also included Marlika Williams from Charlotte Amalie, Ayanna Phillips, also from Charlotte Amalie, Pia Nicholson from Saints Peter and Paul, and Tiandra Garnett from Eudora Ken.
And now it is time to get down to business.
Tiandra Garnett took first runner-up along with Miss Photogenic and tied with Ayanna Phillips for Best Promotional Campaign. Phillips also wowed the crowd in a blue number, taking home the title of Best Evening Wear. The second runner-up was Marlika Williams, who was voted most cooperative and bestowed the title of Best Cultural and Historical Costume.
And can be seen during our carnival and festival.
The show ran about 5 hours, and although it was a competition with one winner, Penn says they're all still queens.
Marlika, Ayanna, Pia, Tiandra, you all did well. It was a very tough competition, and I want you all to know that we're all royalty, we're all still queens.
Penn will also receive a $5,000 scholarship from Cardo Jewelers, and as part of tradition, she'll be making appearances in several upcoming carnival activities. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
Stop coveting my property, you know? That's all I ask.
Lionel Worrell has been trying to open his business since 2008, but according to DPNR, that's when he violated his earth change permit by placing dirt on his property without properly compacting it to prevent erosion, thus making it a safety concern for residents below.
The department issued him a notice of violation through the Division of Environmental Protection, and they entered a consent agreement to have those issues resolved.
In 2009, Worrell applied for a zoning change to develop his gift shop overlook, but because he didn't comply with the consent agreement, Smith says they couldn't move forward with zoning changes. Even though Worrell had a business permit, a joint investigation was triggered after he opened.
It's a residential area, and for the license type that he had, unfortunately, it was not permitted and in a sense illegal for him to operate his business there.
We immediately issued a notice of violation, zoning violation, for the operation of a business in a residential zone. The Division of Building Permits also pursued the placement of the trailer as being an environmental and safety hazard.
Smith also believes Worrell submitted forged documents to DLCA.
It did not come out of this office, was not on our approved form, and was not signed by anyone who was authorized.
To which Worrell replied,
Imagine that.
Thus, Worrell's business license was revoked, but DLCA and DPNR say they're simply following the law.
There are rules and regulations that must be obtained and followed correctly.
This isn't a miscommunication. This isn't, You know, he was issued documentation allowing him to proceed, and we're now trying to take it away. He's been told exactly what to do and how to do it.
But Smith says Worrell can move forward if he removes the trailer.
We can continue the rezoning process, and we can have this wrapped up in, probably 90 to 120 days.
Even still, Worrell says he feels let down by our government.
We give incentives to all kinds of businesses to come in, but where is the locals' incentive to get into small business?
For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens. According to VI Elections Supervisor John Abramson, certification by the EAC or the U.S. Election Assistance Commission is voluntary, and he's correct.
Certification is not a state requirement. It's voluntary. No state has to be certified.
However, we've been told our machines are EAC certified. In this recording from an October 13, 2010 legislative session, Abramson was asked,
"Are these machines EAC certified, yes or no?"
If I may read something into the record,
are they certified, yes or no?
Yes, they are.
Okay, great.
In another recording from Sam Topp's radio show the next day, Abramson again says our machines are certified by the Federal Election Assistance Commission.
And they're still certified. And they are still certified by both the National Association of State Election Directors, or NASDAQ, as well as the Election Assistance Commission of the federal government.
When simply asked again today if our machines are EAC certified, yes or no, Abramson became angry.
Don't ask me to answer that question. I can provide you with any document you want. I can prove to you that they were certified, and if you would like to come and give you a document, they were certified before the EAC even came into existence. Is that certification valid? You're asking me a specific question. Are they EAC certified? The machines we've had since 1986. The EAC wasn't even a thought in 1986.
Abramson would not give a yes or no answer, but the EAC did, and they say our voting machines are not EAC certified. On February 18, 2011, the EAC wrote a letter to Senator Narida Rivera O'Reilly saying, "This letter is in response to your request for information regarding the certification status of the Danaher electronic 1242 voting system used in the U.S. Virgin Islands." It further states they have not received certification from the EAC. In addition, Danaher has not yet applied to become a registered manufacturer with the EAC. Meanwhile, Electech Incorporated responded to an email from News 2 stating our machines are only NACID certified as required by the territory and HAVA requirements. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
They take Muhammad the sweetheart. He never hurt nobody. He never touched nobody. Everybody love him. He is very sweet. He didn't deserve anything what happened to him.
The cries of Mohammed Salem's mother are difficult to listen to as she stares at a picture of her son. But what happened to the 18-year-old who many call baby that Friday night? According to the police report, Mohammed was found inside his vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds to his body. His older brother Kareem was the one who identified him.
I saw him from like a distance away in the car with his head leaned back and stuff like that. So then I went running towards the car, opened the car to grab him out, to pull him out. And then the police all grabbed me and pulled me all the way back.
A lot of people, when hear about Muhammad, shock. He no believe. Because this is the last thing I believe. Muhammad, he happened to him like this.
Family members believed Mohammed was nice and trusting, and those may have been the reasons for his senseless death.
So I assumed that maybe he was sending somebody there, like dropping him off as a favor and stuff like that. They needed a ride, and then he went out of his way, dropped them there because he does that a lot. And then maybe just set him up.
A gold chain always seen on Mohammed's neck was missing, along with some money, which may suggest robbery as a motive. But police are only saying this case is under active investigation.
He had this laugh, like, his laugh could never be impersonated, never.
You don't find too many individuals that that dedicate themselves to work like he did every day after school when he was attending Charlotte Amalie High School up until the very end.
And he was always jovial. He was laughing, so he could light a depressing room up with his smile.
But for the family members and friends of Mohammed Salem, the disbelief over his death continues even today at the funeral home.
It might be your son or your nephew or your uncle the next time. So the more we work together to get these people off the street, the better.
But for now, those who knew Mohammed only have memories and photos of their baby.
I love him. I go and miss him. I go and wait for him forever, Mommy.
For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.